Some houses are built from wood and stone. Others are built from memory. This one was different. It didn't wait to be lived in. It watched. It listened. And over the years, it learned to keep the people who stepped inside. Tonight, you'll hear what happened to the last family who entered its walls, and the one child who walked out with every secret the house tried to bury. This is the story of the family who moved into the breathing rooms. Part 1. Some houses sleep, not peacefully, not fully. More like an animal conserving energy between hunts. Still, but never unaware. After Daniel disappeared into its walls, the house rested. It digested. It rearranged. It learned. And when it was ready, it opened its doors again. Their name doesn't matter. Call them the Whitakers. 2 parents doing their best. 1 child, Lily, 7 years old. Bright in the way children are before the world teaches them to dim. They moved in on a Thursday. The rent was cheap. The neighborhood was up and coming. The building had character. The landlord smiled too quickly when they signed the lease. He didn't mention the top floor. He didn't have to. The house had already chosen them. Lily was the first to notice. Children always are. They haven't learned to ignore the things adults train themselves not to see. She walked into the flat and stopped just past the threshold, head tilted, eyes narrowed. Her mother thought she was overwhelmed. Her father thought she was tired. But Lily was listening, not to the city, not to the pipes, to the walls. They were humming, soft, low, like someone singing through a closed door. She didn't tell her parents, not yet. She just walked slowly across the room, dragging her fingers along the plaster, as if greeting something she already knew. When she reached the sealed wall, the one Daniel had feared, the one that had once been a doorway, she stopped. Her hand hovered an inch from the paint. The wall warmed beneath her palm before she touched it. She smiled. "Hi," she whispered. The wall exhaled. Dust drifted down like confetti. They unpacked. They argued about where the couch should go. They laughed about the crooked light fixture. They didn't notice the way the air thickened behind them. They didn't notice the faint outline of a handprint appearing on the sealed wall, too high for Lily, too large for her parents. They didn't notice the house adjusting itself around them, measuring their footsteps, memorizing their voices, learning the rhythm of their breathing. They didn't notice the way the floorboards flexed slightly under their weight, as if testing how much they could hold. They didn't notice the window showing a reflection that lagged half a second behind. They didn't notice the house remembering how to want. Lily woke at 2:14 a.m., not from a noise, from a feeling. Someone was standing by her bed. She didn't open her eyes at first. She listened. The breathing was wrong. Not human. Not animal. More like the slow expansion of a bellows. In. Out. In. Out. She opened her eyes. No one was there. But the wall across from her bed was pulsing. Just slightly. Like a heartbeat. She sat up. The pulse slowed. Matched hers. She whispered, "Are you awake?" The wall answered with a soft, deliberate knock. Her parents didn't hear it. But someone else did. Someone spread thin across the structure. Someone who had once been Daniel. He felt the knock like a jolt through his entire being. He tried to push back, to warn her, to make the wall stay still. But the house was stronger. It always had been. His warning came out as a faint shift in the floorboards, a creak, barely audible. Lily turned toward the sound. "Hello," she whispered. The house shivered with delight. Children are easy. They don't question the impossible. They accept the strange as part of the world. Lily began talking to the wall, quietly at first, then openly. Her parents thought it was imaginary friend behavior. Normal. Healthy. They didn't see the way the paint near the baseboard began to discolor. They didn't see the faint outline of a second doorway forming beneath the plaster. They didn't see the way Lily's toys migrated toward the sealed wall overnight, arranged in neat lines as if waiting to be counted. They didn't see the way Lily's drawings changed. At first, houses, trees, cats. Then, rooms inside rooms, hallways that looped, windows that showed faces instead of streets. A figure standing in a doorway with no features except a mouth drawn too wide. When her mother asked who it was, Lily shrugged. "He lives here," she said. "What's his name?" Lily frowned. "He doesn't remember." Daniel screamed inside the walls. No one heard him, except the house. And it didn't care. On the 7th night, Lily's father woke to the sound of footsteps. Soft, bare, child-sized. He thought Lily was up. He followed the sound into the living room. She wasn't there, but the sealed wall was bulging, just slightly, like something behind it was leaning forward to listen. He blinked. The bulge flattened. The footsteps stopped. He told himself it was a dream. He went back to bed. The house memorized the weight of his denial. It would use it later. The next morning, Lily sat at the table drawing. Her mother poured cereal. Her father scrolled through emails. Lily didn't look up when she said, "He wants to show me something." Her mother froze. "Who?" Lily pointed at the sealed wall. "The man in the house." Her father laughed nervously. "There's no man in the house, sweetheart." Lily finally looked up. Her eyes were calm, matter-of-fact. He's not a man anymore. Daniel felt something inside him collapse. A memory, a name, a shape. He tried to push outward, to make the lights flicker, to make the floor shake, to make anything happen that would warn them. But the house tightened around him like a fist. He was a whisper, a suggestion, a draft. Nothing more. That night, Lily stood in front of the sealed wall, bare feet, pajamas, hair tangled from sleep. She placed her palm flat against the plaster. The wall warmed beneath her hand. The outline of the old doorway brightened. Just a shade. Just enough. She smiled. "You don't have to pretend," she whispered. The wall inhaled. The paint cracked. A seam appeared. Thin. Hungry. Daniel pushed with everything he had left. The lights blew. The room plunged into darkness. Lily gasped. Her parents woke. The house growled, not with sound, but with movement. The seam widened. Dust fell like snow. The house had chosen. It wanted Lily. It wanted her smallness, her softness, her belief. It wanted to fold her into its memory the way it had folded Daniel. It wanted to grow. The seam widened. Not fast, not violently. Slowly. Like a mouth remembering how to open. Paint cracked in thin, branching lines. Dust drifted down in soft, deliberate flakes. The wall inhaled again, deeper this time, and the air in the room shifted with it, pulled toward the opening as if gravity had quietly changed its mind. Lily didn't step back. She leaned in. Her breath fogged the plaster. "Show me," she whispered. The house shuddered with delight. Her mother's voice cut through the dark. "Lily!" Footsteps. Fast. Uneven. Her father behind her, half awake, half panicked. The bedroom door flew open. The lights were dead. Daniel had blown them out. But the seam in the wall glowed faintly. A thin, sickle-shaped line of pale, unnatural light. Lily's mother froze. Her father swore under his breath. "Get away from the wall," he said, voice cracking. Lily didn't move. She didn't even turn. "It's okay," she said softly. "He's not trying to scare me." Her mother grabbed her shoulders, pulled. Lily resisted, not violently, not stubbornly, but as if something held her in place. Her father reached for her other arm. The house exhaled. The floorboards bowed. The air thickened. The parents staggered, suddenly off balance, as if the room had tilted beneath them. The seam widened another inch. A low, resonant vibration rolled through the walls. Not a sound, but a feeling, like standing too close to a massive engine. Her father yanked harder. Lily finally turned. Her eyes were wide, not frightened, confused. "He's trying to help," she said. Her mother's voice broke. "Who?" Lily pointed at the wall. "The man who lives in the house." Daniel pushed again, harder, trying to force the seam shut, trying to hold the house back, trying to make the wall solid. For a moment it worked. The crack stilled. The glow dimmed. The house hissed, a low, structural groan that rattled the window frame. Lily's father scooped her up. "Bedroom. Now." He backed away, clutching her tight. The house didn't like that. The floor rippled beneath his feet, a subtle, nauseating wave, and he stumbled, catching himself on the doorframe. The seam pulsed. Once. Twice. Like a heartbeat syncing with Lily's. Daniel pushed again, desperate, scattering himself thin across the studs and joists, trying to hold the wall together with whatever fragments of self he still possessed. The house pushed back, hard. The seam widened another inch. A breath of cold air spilled out. Not winter cold, not natural cold, but the cold of a place that had never known sunlight. Lily shivered. Her father tightened his grip. Her mother whispered, "What is happening?" The house answered, not with words, with movement. The sealed wall bowed outward, a slow, deliberate swell, as if something enormous pressed its face against the other side, testing the thickness, tasting the air, deciding how much force it needed to come through. Lily reached toward it. Her father pulled her hand back. The house inhaled sharply. The lights in the hallway flickered. The window pane trembled. The floorboards creaked in a rising, rhythmic pattern, like footsteps approaching from beneath the room. Daniel screamed inside the walls, not a human scream, a structural one, a vibration, a warning. He pushed with everything he had left. The seam snapped shut. Hard. The glow vanished. The wall went still. The house went silent. The parents stood frozen, breathing hard, clutching Lily between them. Lily blinked slowly. "He's trying to keep us safe," she whispered. Her father swallowed. "From what?" Lily looked at the wall. Her voice was small, soft, matter of fact. "From the house." For a long moment, no one moved. The room felt hollowed out, as if the air had been scooped away and replaced with something thinner, something that didn't want to be breathed. Lily's father held her tighter. Her mother's hand hovered near the light switch, even though the lights were dead, as if muscle memory could save them. The sealed wall looked normal again, perfectly flat, perfectly still, perfectly harmless. But the house was never harmless. It was only patient. The parents backed toward the hallway, slow, measured, as if any sudden movement might wake something they desperately hoped was asleep. Lily didn't struggle. She just watched the wall. Calm, attentive, listening. The silence stretched, then stretched further. Too far. Silence in a home is never truly silent. There are pipes, appliances, the faint hum of electricity, the distant thrum of the city. But this silence was total. Engineered, a vacuum. The house had stopped breathing. It was waiting. Her father whispered, "We're leaving." The house heard him. The floorboards tightened beneath their feet, not creaking, contracting, as if the wood were clenching. They reached the hallway, or what should have been the hallway. But the moment they crossed the threshold, the air changed. The temperature dropped. The shadows deepened. And the corridor was wrong. Too long. Too narrow. The light at the far end flickered, then steadied, then flickered again in a slow, deliberate rhythm. Her mother gasped. "This isn't—" "I know," her father said. He didn't finish the sentence. He didn't need to. The hallway was rearranging itself, not dramatically, not like a movie, subtly, like a building settling, like a spine adjusting. The walls bowed inward by a fraction of an inch. The carpet rippled. The ceiling dipped. The house was shrinking the corridor around them. Not enough to trap them. Not yet. Just enough to remind them who controlled the exits. Lily whispered, "He's trying to help." Her father swallowed hard. "Who?" "The man in the walls." Daniel pushed again. A ripple through the studs, a tremor through the plaster, trying to guide them, trying to steer them toward the stairs. The house pushed back, harder. The tremor died. The hallway straightened. The light steadied. The house reasserted itself. They reached the end of the corridor. The stairwell door should have been there. It wasn't. In its place was a blank stretch of wall, smooth, seamless, as if the door had never existed. Her mother's breath hitched. Her father pressed his palm against the wall, solid, cold, wrong. He turned. The hallway behind them had changed again. Shorter now. The flat's door closer than it should have been. The house was folding the space, not trapping them. Not yet. Just tightening the perimeter, like a predator circling. Lily leaned her head against her father's shoulder. "He says we need to go left." Her father blinked. "What?" "He's showing me." Daniel pushed again. A faint, directional pressure through the floorboards, a whisper of movement in the air. "Left." Her father hesitated. Her mother grabbed his arm. "Do we trust that?" Lily answered for him. If this story unsettled you, subscribe and stay close. What comes next goes deeper.